most shit you write in the paper is absolute bullshit and you're just doing it to suck people in to get clickbait. 3 news articles today, they're all telling totally different stories. The media are so out of touch with the property market is because they're reporting historically.
If you're buying in the hotspot, you're getting burnt.
Taking information from the media is very dangerous.
Welcome back to Brick to the Future. I'm Al Lewison, here with Cam McLellan.
Hey mate.
How are you, Cam?
Very good, ready to go.
That's the way. I wanted to cover a topic. You got some pre-prepared collateral there, but I was intrigued. Recently you interviewed a journalist.
Yeah.
I think it was going pretty well. I think maybe at one point you asked him a pretty hard question. I'd love to rehear it and tell me why you asked it and where it got to.
All right. Well, he was all right in the end, but it sort of stumped him a little bit when I basically undermined his ethics of the industry on what he may or may not report in the news. And he got it in the end because I backtracked a little bit and I explained the premise of why I was hitting him so hard and just saying most shit you write in the paper is absolute bullshit and you're just doing it to suck people in to get clickbait.
You didn't mean him, you meant holistically?
Yeah. I actually said to him, I said, I don't, he wanted to meet with me to do a podcast and I said, the premise why I met with him, and I said, I don't meet with many journalists but I've followed him for a while and watched that he's not too sensationalising in the information he puts forward. His headlines aren't ridiculous based on the information. He's semi-well informed compared to most journalists, but I explained to him what pisses me off with and why journos are so full of shit when it comes to writing articles and how the media influences. So if you think of the 4 big things that influence the market: supply, demand, affordability, and consumer sentiment. And that last one comes in late. And this is where, if I've just printed off 3 news articles today, and I've got one from The Australian, one from news.com.au, and this one here is from The Age, and they're all telling totally different stories on what's going on in the market.
How's that possible?
Oh, how is that possible? Ripping headlines on each of them. But the reason they're all telling different stories is because the journalists don't understand the property market cycle. So what I explained to him the other day, which we were talking about just beforehand, was why the media are so out of touch with the property market is because they're reporting historically. And when it comes down to consumer sentiment, if you think of what drives the property prices, there's supply and demand. So it's really the developers in the market that provide the supply. The issue is, as you know, being a developer and doing land subdivisions and townhouses and apartments, when you buy a site, so if we're looking at capital cities at the moment, our analytics team looks at it and goes, in that market there's equilibrium, the market is about to pivot and there's going to be more demand on the supply, so we go and buy a site. Land sub takes us 2 years, apartment complex might be 3 years, but you got a 2 to 3 year lag on the supply coming to market. The issue is that the market starts to move as far as pricing because there's that imbalance and there's more demand on it. About 12 months after the pricing going up, the journalists jump on and they start writing good news stories. They go from writing the market's doomed and the world's going to end to no one can get into the property market and the market's about to soar. Then what, because this is what pisses me off, and this is what I said to him, why it pisses me off with journalists, because most mum and dad investors, instead of investing 12 months before that, they need to see the property prices going up for 12 months. Then the journalists jump on board and switch their tune, and then there's another 12 months worth of growth, which coincides so that mum and dad investors buying their first investment property are basically buying 2 years after the market switched. So they're 2 years late getting into the market, which is about when developers on a large scale start dumping their stock. The developments are coming to fruition. So the first taste of when a journo is going, it's a hotspot, the developers start delivering stock to market, which then sometimes causes a price correction. So the first taste a mum and dad investor gets sometimes, based on the bullshit the journalists are putting out, is the market moves or stays stagnant for a long time. So it's a really sour experience that uninformed people get. I want to read out though, I've got a ripping article which I've been carrying around for a little while, but it's pretty poignant. I'll read some of the information in it. Sydney's soaring land prices are turning young dreams of home ownership into a nightmare. A young man with 3 children this week uttered what would be a standing joke about the housing dilemma. The only bit of dirt I'm ever going to own is the one I'm buried in. There's politicians on here who are saying that it's unaffordable and out of reach for anyone to ever own a home in the future. The land prices in Melbourne and Sydney are beyond a joke. It's just line after line.
Was this last week, this article? When was this?
What was it now? Let me have a look. I'll just go down to that.
Must be last week.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's right. First home. The article headline is Year of the Angry Home Seeker. Pretty good headline, isn't it? Sound familiar? The article's from the Herald Sun. Oh, the Sun Herald, sorry. December 13, 1970. The land price, it says in here, for Sydney was $8,000 and Melbourne is $6,000.
Unaffordable.
Yeah, unaffordable. So you look at it and you go, it's the same shit that just keeps getting spit out. You can nearly print that today.
I think an article from earlier, I think at one point we had like an article from 1940, basically identical, and we had one from 1990, identical.
There you go. Yeah. So if people are trying to get information from the media, they're at best 2 years late on the information, and at worst just getting fed random shit to get headlines.
Well, you touched on it. We're always critical of the word hotspot, because if you're buying in the hotspot, you're getting burnt, you've missed it.
You're about to get burnt. Yeah, that's right, exactly right.
You want to be in a market that hasn't done anything, and then in 6 or 12 months people are saying, hey, it's a hotspot now. Great, you got in first because the metrics told you to get in first.
Yeah.
And you bought at the right time. But I guess what you're saying is that's not going to sell a paper. No. Hey, this might be a good area in 12 months. Why don't you think about it?
No, that's right.
Not really exciting as the year of the angry
home seeker.
Not the dragon.
Yeah. No. If we think of it, look, the crux is taking information from the media or social media is very dangerous when it comes to property information. How do you get the right information? You run our acquisitions team and our analytics team, which basically look at those 4 big hitters: the supply, demand, affordability, and consumer sentiment, which are the 4 drivers of it. They then create reports and obviously webinars for individuals to have a look at it, to get an informed understanding of where the market is and how to get rich slow. So if people are after information, they're welcome to contact opencorp.com.au, jump on, click on there, have a chat to someone. You don't have to use our services. You can have a chat to one of our consultants, grab some information, and if you do need a hand to get an investment property, we'll at least put you into the market at the right time as opposed to when the media is telling you.
And for any other queries or topics you'd like covered, hello@opencorp.com.au. Thanks, Cam. Nice, quick, short, sharp one.
Yeah, screw the media.